With the number of public and private blockchains today, I don't see a future where interoperability protocols aren't crucial. This means there are huge opportunities for projects building in that interoperability space, some of which I've covered on this YouTube channel before, the likes of Axelar, Synternet, Router Protocol. They've all been featured, and this project that I want to dive into today is a very close competitor to that lineup. And despite a black mark against its name, more on this later, this project has climbed the ranks over the last 12 months and is now firmly positioned in the top 100 cryptocurrencies ranked by market cap. But in terms of an investment opportunity, can it stand up? Can it stack up against other interoperability projects out there? So in today's video, I want to take a look at what is the interstellar interoperability play in the crypto niche. I want to take a look at Wormhole. As always, I really hope you take value out of this video, and if you do enjoy the video, please hit the like button down below. It really helps my channel out. And of course, I would love to have you as a subscriber. If you don't want to miss out on any future videos that I push out, including altcoin deep dives such as this, then hit the bell notification icon down below too. And that's not all that is offered by this community. I put out a weekly newsletter, one email per week, that covers the key fundamental signals out of the massive noise that we get on a weekly basis, alongside altcoin deep dive reviews such as this. So if that sounds of interest, I've left a link to the newsletter down in the description below. Now, with all of that out of the way, let's take a look at Wormhole. So at its foundation, Wormhole is a decentralized message passing protocol for blockchains. Now, what the heck does that actually mean, and why is this something that is needed? Well, it's needed because independent blockchains are incapable of talking to one another. So all that liquidity that is sat in layer ones, all the applications that are built on independent blockchains just remain siloed. So it's impossible for tokens to move between any two blockchains. That is the niche. That is the problem that Wormhole is trying to solve. And to solve that problem, it wants to offer a communication layer, a layer zero that sits beneath all of the layer one blockchains. And so far, it is building on that journey. Today, it has connected hundreds of applications across over 30 different blockchains and has transferred over $48 billion worth of assets. So with this communication layer, this layer zero, what does Wormhole offer? What are the products that it offers developers and end users? Wormhole's products can be broken down into two main sectors that we can see on their website here. So we have those for the application layer and we have those for the infrastructure layer. Now, Wormhole's products can be broken down into two sectors. We have those that are built for applications and those that are built for infrastructure. Now, starting on the infrastructure side, developers have the choice to incorporate native token transfers, which you'll see often as NTT, queries, and messaging. Now, starting with the native token transfers. So this means that any token that you create can become multi-chain from day one, so it can exist seamlessly on multiple different blockchains. Then we have its queries product, and this allows on-chain data to be pulled from any chain using queries. So developers can pull data from any blockchain, and therefore it can be used in those decentralized applications that they are looking to build. And this allows for the build of custom multi-chain protocols. Then we have the application side. And on this side, Wormhole offers a software development kit. And the software development kit is there to help, again, build multi-chain dApps from the ground up. And also, it allows for the ability to bring native token transfers to any application through Wormhole Connect. Now, all of the products that I've just mentioned run thanks to two main things. There's two things that help Wormhole communicate and send these messages across different blockchains. The first being core contracts, and the second being the Guardian network. Now, core contracts, we're not going to go into the details of this, but as far as I understand it, core contracts are these smart contracts that are located on every single blockchain in Wormhole's network, and they record all the cross-chain communications. Below that, we have the Guardian network, which is highlighted here in yellow, and the Guardian network is a network composed of 19 validators that process all of Wormhole's messages that are captured by those core contracts. Now, while Wormhole isn't a young project, it also isn't a really old project either. It was launched for the first time back in 2021, and it was launched by and is now supported by the Wormhole Foundation, also Wormhole Labs, and also X Labs. So they are all helping to build out this Wormhole protocol, and it was launched to become the first ever generalized messaging service. In 2022, the project then raised $225 million worth of investment in an investment round. And since then, the team has got its head down and has been developing all of these new products that are built on the Wormhole infrastructure. And then the most recent update from Wormhole has been the launch of the protocol's native token, which is called W. And at the token generation event, 1.8 billion W tokens were airdropped to users of Wormhole. So W is the native token of Wormhole, and at the moment it has one main use case, and that is for governance. So the vision is for it to become used in the Wormhole DAO. So W can be staked in Wormhole so that holders can vote on all governance proposals. Now let's talk tokenomics. The current market cap of W stands at $893 million at the time of shooting this video, places it in the medium cap category of altcoins. Out of a maximum supply of 10 billion W tokens, 2.57 billion are currently in circulation, so 25% are currently in circulation, and that means, of course, that 75% are still left to hit the market. Now, when the token was generated earlier in 2024, 31% of the allocation went to the ecosystem and incubation, 23% was allocated to the treasury, 17% was awarded to the community and launch, 12% to core contributors, 11% to strategic partnerships, and then 5% to the Guardian nodes. And here we can see the token release schedule, and we are going to be coming back to this chart very shortly. And the reason why we're going to be coming back to that is because now I want to talk through the upsides and risks to Wormhole and also the W token, because if you are investing in Wormhole, of course you gain exposure by holding the W token, but what are the things that could drive potentially demand that could see the price of the W token rise, or what are the things that could strip away demand or overinflate supply so that the value of the W token falls? Now I want to first start talking about the adoption of Wormhole because it has been so strong. Uniswap uses it for cross-chain deployment. Pith Network uses it for its Oracle services. Lido uses it to improve its liquid staking options. And this adoption is reflected in the total value locked in the protocol. So if we take a look at DeFi Llama, since October of 2023, Wormhole has witnessed consistent growth and is now closing in on all-time high levels. Now, something else that I think Wormhole has done very cleverly is it's positioned itself as the go-to protocol for moving assets in and out of the Solana ecosystem. And with Solana becoming the go-to blockchain of this cycle, it is becoming the favorite layer one blockchain to use. Increasing adoption of Solana could mean increasing demand for Wormhole. In 2023, the Uniswap Foundation's Bridge Assessment Committee conducted a third-party report that resulted in Wormhole being named as the only unconditionally approved cross-chain protocol for use by the Uniswap DAO, but based primarily on its security and decentralization practices. And the fact that Uniswap, which is the largest DEX ever, has given its seal of approval for Wormhole, that has got to have probably helped in terms of overall general adoption for the Wormhole protocol. And as we can see in this list, the only other one that was approved is, interestingly, Axelar. And then finally, quickly going back to the Wormhole price chart, this is not a good looking price chart when you look at just purely price. We are all in the red since it was launched earlier this year. However, that does mean now that getting into Wormhole is equivalent to getting in when a lot of the VCs got invested into Wormhole. And we can take a look at this website, which tells us the token generation and distribution, and that happened on April the 4th of 2024, and that happened at a price of $1.55. So we are now way below that, with the price of W sitting at 34 cents currently. But we can see that during the funding round, which took place earlier in 2022, but obviously looks like it rolled into 2023, the price that W was sold at is 25 cents. We are now sitting at 34 cents, which isn't a massive return on investment for those that were purchased at 25 cents. So with prices now at 34 cents at the time of shooting this video, it would suggest that many VCs might still be holding bags in the hope that W returns higher prices in the future. So unlike getting in way behind VCs, this might be an opportunity to get into a project at the VC or near the VC level. And that's only on the condition that you believe the W token can move higher in the future. And now let's talk about some of the risks. What are the risks for Wormhole and the W token? Now, unfortunately, W in terms of the token is another inflation disaster. And by that, I mean there is a gigantic wave of token supply left to hit the market here. So there's already we've already covered that there's only 25% in circulation, 75% are yet to come into the market. And according to token unlocks, while tokens are released slowly over the next 6 months, there is an extremely big cliff unlock in March of next year. So this means that this time next year, 12 months down the line, the circulating supply will have nearly doubled for W. And if demand isn't there to meet that, then the price of the W token has no option but to fall lower. And then we need to talk about and consider competition in this space. There are plenty of other protocols that are working on building the communication between different blockchains. Axelar, as we've already mentioned, Connect is another one, Multichain is another one. Many of these have much smaller valuations and sometimes better tokenomics. The tokenomics for the W coin aren't brilliant. So does that mean that at the moment, with its market cap of $800+ million, is Wormhole overvalued in comparison to some of these other projects that are equally performing as well, but the valuation for market cap is nowhere near as high? And then one thing that we can't overlook is this big black mark on Wormhole's record, and that was the hack that the platform suffered back in 2022. Over $325 million worth of digital assets were lost. And although its reputation has improved since then, if it's happened once, it's always possible for this to happen again. And if it does, then the price of the W token is going to take a significant hit. And then finally, here we have the price chart of the W token. We've already seen price on CoinMarketCap, but here it is on TradingView. And this is to highlight that we need to start to see some positive price action. So although the price at the moment offers a good risk to reward profile, we would like to see, or I would like to see, I should say, some positive price action in terms of higher highs and higher lows. Not necessarily on the weekly time frame, because we haven't got the amount of time. It's not old enough to give us good data on the weekly time frame. So that means that we're basing this on the daily time frame. And what we can see is that we have actually seen a new higher high posted on the daily time frame in comparison to the lows or the swing high point back in August. We have seen a new higher high. What would be great to see next is a new higher low in order to confirm that the trend for W might be taking a turn. We can see that we had a big spike in volume very recently in October, but then if we jump back to the weekly charts, you can see that we really haven't got enough data to make any kind of justified thesis on the price action of W. It needs to come from the daily price chart. And the other thing to consider, the other risk here, is that while the price is very low in comparison to when it was first airdropped, and we are near that VC level, it does mean that if the VCs are still holding their bags, it means that there could be token dumpage later on down the line if the price of the W token increases. And the difficult thing is you will have no clue when that will happen. And there we have Wormhole, the protocol that is seeking to bridge the gaps between all blockchains. Is it the best interoperability protocol out there? And if so, should it be added to an altcoin watch list? Should this be one that you are watching on a weekly basis? So if you do want my personal opinion and insights onto altcoin projects like this, my 80/20 newsletter is the place to head to. I would love to have you as a subscriber there. The whole idea about building an altcoin watch list of 4 to 5 good, strong, high conviction altcoins is that when we see lower prices, and lower prices always come because of the volatility in the markets, but when we see good exchange rates, you already know which altcoins are on your watch list because you've done the research and put in the effort beforehand, and then you can take action and take advantage of those exchange rates. As I said at the start of the video, I think hands down we will definitely need interoperability solutions. There are only going to be more and more layer ones whether that be public or private, and they all need to communicate with one another. And it's extremely impressive that Wormhole has managed to bounce back from the black mark that it had on its record back in 2022. A lot of other projects would have just disappeared into the crypto industry dump pile. But do the supply and demand mechanics of this new W token make sense in terms of gaining exposure to Wormhole and returning a good investment in the future? That is the question. All that's left for me to say is thank you so much for watching. I really hope you have taken some value out of this video. As always, don't invest into cryptocurrencies what you can't afford to lose. This is a highly volatile market and it should be considered alongside a range of other investments. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.